Hi, we're here. And unless we had another topic, I could do, what was it? What did he say it was? Social facilitation. Because that one's fairly interesting. I feel like it's defined as improvement or decrease in individual performance when working with other people rather than alone. In addition to working together with other people, social facilitation also occurs in the mere presence of other people. The audience effect attempts to explain psychologically why the presence of an audience leads to people performing tasks better in some cases and worse in others. That's some real shit. So we'll talk about that. So that's what we're doing today on the post stream podcast, I guess. Right? Social facilitation. Just another example of, like, a behavior that you see in yourself and like, oh wow, there's an explanation for it. It's actually nice. You see some people who are so against it and so like, fuck that, and they rebel against it and say, fuck you, fuck science, fuck the system, because they feel like offended that something describes them. I like to see myself as someone who's excited to have some fucking answers as to why things are so fucking weird in my head. I am so much better in groups, working with other people, than I am by myself. But one of the problems is, and I tend to isolate myself. Sometimes for good reason, which I've done for, recent isolation is absolutely for good reason, and I absolutely stand by it. But in the past, it hasn't always been best for me. I play well with others. I really do. I like being a part of a team. I like working and sharing ideas and achieving goals with other people. I love that feeling of we did something together. And I find that's happened less and less in my life because, that the previously mentioned isolation, which is where performing comes in. Because performing, you can still perform on your own. And I perform well with other people. When I played in bands and when I'm collaborating with people and then take that and present it, I am usually a little better. It usually does work out a little better for me. But just like, I'll give you an example. Me, a guitar, and, microphone. Playing in front of people. I mean, dude, I'm not Johnny Cash. I'm not fucking Neil Young. There is quite literally probably millions of people who could do what I can do. Maybe hundreds of thousands. And why not showing us sometime? I will, definitely. I've talked about showing. I would definitely like to show sometime. So, but with that being said, like, I am, especially with being out of practice and never really putting the practice in that I should have. And no, I'm not still in a band, man. I haven't been in a band in a long time. But being, just kind of middle of the road, a lot of that my own doing, I know how to work a crowd. You give me 50 people, maybe they're sitting at a bar, eating food, drinking beer. You give me a decent setup, 2 or 3 hours with them, they'll leave saying like, wow, that guy it was fun. I had a good time. I know how to kind of get inside of the head of people I'm doing something in front of, even if it's not always right. Like, I'm getting in their head. It doesn't mean I'm not actually doing it. It's I think it's more of an expression, getting in their heads. It's really just trying to anticipate what they'll like, what they won't like, what they want to hear with this particular hour. You play certain stuff when they've drank more. You play certain stuff when they're eating. I always felt this sense of control there, and this sense of like, I know what I'm doing. I know how to talk to these people. I know how to entertain them. I know how to make them happy. Everyone leaves full, drunk, happy, and entertained. And that's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to make people feel like that. In addition to making some money sometimes. You should make money most of the time if a venue, if you attracted a right amount of people and or they have the funds to pay their talent. That isn't always the case, though. I can't go into some big how to pay musicians rant because it does vary. It varies situation by situation. So, quite nuanced. But for me, it's anytime I have the opportunity to present in front of people, even if it's just this, with Captain Nom, Mayonnaise, and Lawman here. I always feel this sense of, I have a good comparison. When I was in school, I think they changed it, right? So when I was in elementary school and middle school, the way the grading system worked is that you would start at a 0 and then work your way to 100. Now, obviously, you're gonna get 100 the first day you can walk in and you can say, all right, hey, here, write your name on the top of this worksheet and write why you love school. 10 out of 10. Everyone gets 100 to start off. That's what would happen a lot of the times. But still, if you didn't turn that in, then you still stay at 0. I don't know if your teacher decided to give you a 50 on it. You started at 50 on your first day. So essentially, you start at 0 and you work your way up to 100. And again, in this bootstrap culture, we've talked about it. Not Lawman. Cap. We've talked the literally impossible task of pulling up your bootstraps. That's where kind of that comes from. You start from the bottom and you work your way up. And that is kind of stupid, especially with kids, expecting children to be doing this. So what was changed was you start at 100 now, and now it's up to you to lose it. So if you have 100 points going in the first day, you get a 0 out of 10 on that assignment. I don't know if you don't go immediately down to 0. You know what I mean? It was just a small change. I can get into another whole rant on that, on school and teachings, but I was very for that. Looking back on it now, I remember it being talked about a lot, and not really understanding. But I don't care. I'm gonna fail anyways. This fucking fly, god damn it! We'll get him. He's ruining the pod. Moving on. No, I will not eat him. I'm not some backwater Maryland redneck who eats cicadas and flies. And go ahead, Cap. Go ahead and eat your lunch, bud. This will be posted on the VOD, so enjoy the rest of it on your own time, or on the podcast feed. I'm gonna try to have those up by tonight, later tonight. So I'll see you. And I'm gonna continue on, and then we'll finish up. So I can't remember. I was getting before this fucking fly came and interrupted me. That fucking fly, man. That fucking fly. If I can't remember the point, I'll just wrap it up. Bring it to a conclusion. That's what happens sometimes here. My mind's all whacked out, man. And I do need to go eat. I'm fucking starving. Working up to 100. Thank you. There you go. Well, man, I appreciate that. So work it up to 100. So that little sidebar I took about the grading system, that factors into my feelings about performing, public speaking, even what we're doing here. When you walk into a room, when you walk out on stage and it's your time to give a speech, when you stand up and clink your glass, go clink, 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 excuse me, everyone, excuse me. You do any of those things where you immediately, you attract the attention of people and you say, everyone, listen to me. You're starting off at 100. 100, however you'd like to say it. I don't want people correcting me. You're already there. You have them. You have captivated them the most you possibly can. They're quiet. They're looking at you. They're listening to you. And they're not doing anything else except for watching you. It's up to you in that moment to do you keep them or not. And you're not going to keep all of them, obviously. You're gonna lose a little bit. That's kind of just how it works. But you have them from the moment you walk out and you begin your performance. That's why it's like a performance begins with and now the performance. Everyone, look here now. That's and any performance. Even if it's a prank, a street performance. Which street performance is a little harder because it's like a continuous thing, but still. There's ways street performers get everybody's attention. That's like a more continual thing. That's more akin to streaming, actually. Street performing. This is almost digital street performing. Watch me play video games and tell jokes. But that's besides the point. When it comes down to, I always loved that when I started a performance, I was started at 100. And yeah, you would lose stuff, yeah, but like that always helped. It always helped to be there. And in your personal life, I don't feel like that's the case. I don't feel like when you go to start a conversation with someone that you start at 100. I feel like there's distrust. You trust people that are performing in front of you for some weird reason. We give people who perform in front of us a lot of power, and there's a lot of responsibility to that. People who are good public speakers can cause a lot of damage. Can also do a lot of good. You know, look at two of the greatest public speakers in history. You know, Dr. Martin Luther King and all the good that he did, and Uncle Artie, who we can't really say his name out of risk of being demonetized. You know, I'm speaking of, who did horrific things. Both were elite public speakers. That can't be denied. Both were brilliant with the spoken word, with the ability to inspire people, bring people to their cause, get people to fanatically follow them, and in some cases die for them. That's crazy. That was done by speech, and obviously it's not just them. It wasn't just their words. It's a lot of other things, but it doesn't happen without the words. It doesn't happen with the people to give the speeches and give the performances. It's all performances. Whether it's genuine or not, it's still a performance. A performance doesn't have to be fake. It's just done in front of people. This isn't fake. This is me. This is me very much really talking to you, really sharing part of my soul with you. But I'm performing. This isn't how you talk to someone. This isn't what a conversation is. We're not having a conversation right now. I'm talking to you, talking at you. Everything's a performance, whether it's genuine or not. And that's where I'm most comfortable. And I've always been most comfortable there. And I always thought it was strange, but seeing the actual term put to words, seeing it in front of me, social facilitation, defined as improvement or decrease in individual performance when working with other people rather than alone. And then the audience effect that we talked about. So, a little more insight into me and what I'm like. Why I enjoy this platform so much. Why I love being on Twitch. Why I like making podcasts. I do it because this feels like the realest and purest version of me. Clear. Everything's clear. Even if it seems like I'm searching my mind for a thought, the right thing. Like, I don't do that as much in regular conversation. I'm a little more rash. I'm a little more emotional. Sensitive. I talked about that. Maybe like a second home. Yeah, in a sense. Well, yeah, it is like a second home, but it's still, this is my home. Like, it's all, for me, it's all one reality. It's all one thing. This isn't real. Like, I log off of here. I'm going to finish up. I got stuff to do today. It's all just one big reality to me. Which it is for some, it is for some. Now I'm just rambling. Now it's just bullshit. So, thank you for listening to this bit of rant right here. So it's the end of this post-podcast rant. And then this part I'll just save for Twitch. So thank you very much for watching. We got to about 2.5 hours today. I was a little tired today, a little bushed. And I was going to go the full 3, but I got some shit I got to do. I got to go get my son's schools transferred, got to re-register for insurance. Just got a bunch of errands and bullshit to do. So thank you as always. Love, love, love. And goodbye, bye, bye. I'll see you all soon.